Hi there, my name is Rob Wu with CauseVox, CEO and co-founder. You're also on with Jenna Nodhar Francesco over here at CauseVox. We're excited for you to join us today. We will be getting started shortly, so a few announcements. Announcements include this session is being recorded, so you will get this in your email inboxes probably by end of tomorrow, if not Friday at the latest. You will include a recording as well as these lovely slides. So this session is being recorded. If you do need to hop off anytime, you will get a copy of this. We will be getting started shortly. So this is a Zoom webinar, so you should be able to see Jenna, as well as myself, Rob, and these amazing slides that Jenna has put together. So we're super excited to share with you how to use CauseVox for walks, runs, and races today. All right, Jenna just put in the chat. If you could, we'd love to hear who you are and where you are calling in from, as well as what walk, run, or race you're looking forward to putting together in the next year. We'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your amazing ideas, and would love to just start a conversation through the chat function over here. So feel free to scroll down on the Zoom interface. There's an icon that's a dialog bubble. You can click on that to answer, or you can use the Q&A if you have any questions at any time. We will get to the questions at the end of our session today. We are allocated some time for that. So I'll be happy to share with you some more personalized insight. Again, this is Rob Wu, CEO of CauseVox. We're also on with Jenna Nodhar Francesco today. On Wednesday, the 17th, we're excited to share with you our webinar on how to use CauseVox for walks, runs, and races. So we'll be getting started within the next 2 minutes. In the meantime, feel free to use the chat function. If you do have any questions along the way, feel free to let us know who you are and where you're calling in from. And the bonus question is, what walk, run, or race are you looking forward to putting together in the next 12 months? We'd love to hear from you and your ideas to help inspire other folks on our webinar today on what they're going to do. So we'll be getting started shortly. And my last announcements, which is a repeat, is that this session is being recorded. So we will be sending out the recording along with the slides within the next 1 to 2 business days, if not sooner. So we hope to get that to you as fast as possible. All right, Jenna, let's see who we have on here today. We have a bunch of people. We have Cindy. Hey, Cindy, looking to host a dog walk. I think that's exciting. We're looking forward to that. We have Sharon looking to do a virtual walk, which is amazing too. We've seen a lot of virtual walks in the past 2 years, so we're excited to do more of that. We see Heather from British Columbia, just looking for ideas on a walk run for horse groups. That's amazing. We have Mo from North Carolina and looking to do a virtual general movement-a-thon. So lots of great ideas today, from dog walks to virtual walks to a movement-a-thons. Really exciting. We also have Lynn from California, looking to do a walk for senior citizens. So lots of great ideas. We love walks, run, races because it can apply to any organization, any size, any cause area. We're excited to share with you today on how you can use CauseVox for walks, runs, and races. All right. Jenna, should we get started with this? I think we're ready to go. So, hi, my name is Rob Wu, CEO and co-founder of CauseVox. You also have Jenna Nodhar Francesco, account executive at CauseVox. Started CauseVox 14 years ago to help small and medium-sized nonprofits bridge the gap between technology and fundraising so they can make online fundraising super easy. So today, what we do at CauseVox is we have a best-in-class online fundraising platform dedicated towards peer-to-peer fundraising, donation forms, event ticketing, and all your digital fundraising stuff all in one place. We started CauseVox with walks, runs, races, and peer-to-peer fundraising in mind. So our bread and butter really is around walks, runs, and races, and empowering that. We also offer you hands-on support. So unlike just generic fundraising tools or online software, you'll get somebody here at CauseVox to help you with onboarding, with any questions that you have, any trouble that you have in terms of your walks, runs, or race. And lastly, we do offer some amazing free fundraising education. So nonprofits really love our education and our content team and what they develop, as well as I really like the speakers of our webinars too. So we help make online fundraising easy. Our whole thing is about making online fundraising easy so that you can raise more with less time. You know, a lot of nonprofits that we talk to just wear a lot of different hats, have a lot of stuff going on, and just don't have enough staff time and staff and just enough capacity really to do everything they want to do. So one of the things that we help with at CauseVox is just making things easier on the digital fundraising side. Today, you can use our peer-to-peer fundraising for your runs, walks, and race through our fundraising platform. We streamlined everything, so not using a lot of different tools. And you can take donations, run peer-to-peer with personal pages and team pages all in one place. You can monitorize your donations. We really love how we invested into our donation form, so it helps with conversion, because you can do a lot of work of setting up your run, walk, race. You can plan for it, you can get all your participants, but at the end of the day, if they're taken to a really clunky donation form, then their friends and family are not going to have a great experience or a great first experience in supporting your organization. So we'd love to modernize your donation form to help increase the number of donations that you get with no effort. And very lastly over here, we do peer-to-peer fundraising, so we can power any type of peer-to-peer, including runs, walks, and races. So Jen is going to kind of go over a few examples later in the webinar of how we've been helping other runs, walks, races, and peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns be successful. We're not going to go over CauseVox too much in detail today. So if you're looking for more of a one-on-one walkthrough of our platform, how you can apply this to what you do, feel free to take a tour of CauseVox. You can go to causevox.com, schedule-a-demo, and we'll be happy to schedule either a one-on-one demo with you, or what we can do is if you do sign up for the on-demand demo, you could just watch a recording of one of our 10-minute demos, I believe. All right, so when it comes to session agenda today, it's going to be pretty quick and to the point. So we're going to talk about what is a walkathon. So we define the different types that you have. We will go through some best practices of how you can plan your walk or race, or your movement at dawn. So a lot of different ideas. And as well as we have a few examples of other runs, walks, races that have been successful on our platforms. You can kind of glean some great ideas from organizations doing amazing walkathons and campaigns. And then we'll go over how you can set up your run, walk, race really briefly at a high level using our platform. We'll talk about 20 minutes for the first part of it. And then for the last part of it, we have this Q&A session for about 10 minutes. So we'll get you in and out today during our lunchtime. And we're excited to share with you more on how you can run your run, walk, or race on CauseVox. All right, I'll hand it over to you, Jenna.
Thanks, Rob. All right, so super excited to talk about walks, runs, and races. So let's get started. What is a walkathon? Essentially, a walkathon at its core is a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. You will be inviting participants, your key supporters, to ask their friends and family to raise money in order to help them complete a challenge. And it can be any type of challenge. It can be a walk, it can be a run, it could be bicycling, swimming, full activity challenge of any type, really. Basically, what you want to do is they're gonna sign up. They're gonna sign up for a specific activity over a specific time frame. So maybe they sign up to complete 5 kilometers over 24 hours and raise funds in the process. Or maybe they sign up to complete 15 miles over 2 weeks, and they're raising money during that time as well. So you can have it as you create one set time frame, and one set activity for your participants to complete, or you can leave it in their hands and make it more of a individual based participation and activity. And so with that, there's a lot of flexibility in our walks, runs, races, and activity challenges, on top of the fact that you can make them solely in person, solely virtual, or a hybrid combination of both. So why do a walkathon or race? First of all, this is essentially a fundraising event but it has very reduced costs, reduced event costs, because everyone's sort of on their own doing the activity challenge outside or, in their homes. So you're able to really increase your ROI, your return on investment, by doing an in-person, virtual, or hybrid walkathon or race. Secondly, it provides people with a community activity. Not only are you getting people active, which is great for our health, obviously, people are able to commune with others, fellowship, get active, and engage with others in their community in person, perhaps, or even, if they want to stay more to themselves, they can do it on their own time, and just share their progress online as they do so. But it gets people engaged and talking about your mission and getting people more excited about that. As I mentioned previously, it's flexible. So it's very inclusive. You can incorporate everybody in your community. Everyone can participate because your participants will decide on the type of activity that they're doing and the speed at which they're going to do it, and perhaps even the time frame that they're going to do it in. So very inclusive. And finally, peer-to-peer fundraising has been proven to not only double your funds, but help you acquire new donors. If you think about it, the number of people that you engage and activate as your fundraisers, that number of networks, you're going to multiply your donor network by that number of networks. So whereas you would have only had so much reaching out to your own friends and family, you're going to multiply that by the number of friends and family of your participants. Okay, this sounds great, right? But then what are the key elements that are involved in planning your race? I'm going to review 7 ideas to help you plan your next walkathon or activity challenge. So first, as I had mentioned, you'll want to create a time frame for the race or activity, and that would be in order for you to be able to count down the start and finish of the event. And then along with that would be to create the concept. Are you going to do individual challenges so that people can sign up and decide the type of challenge that they want to do and the length of it and the day on which they want to do it? Or do you want to set up one that is more universal? Maybe it's, an in-person version, they sign up and they will arrive on a certain day and complete a certain length of activity. This is something that you'll want to decide with your organization. Thirdly, you can create a nice hashtag for your online engagement. So something that's catchy, something that has to do with your mission and values, or just, pointing back to the activity itself, such as hashtag do the walk. You want to make it fun. I mean, if nothing else, the best way to get people engaged and excited is to make it fun. And this is part of that creative process of maybe even in the creation of your concept, this part of it, how can you creatively get people involved to also highlight what your mission is? So I think there was a breast cancer support organization on CauseVox at one point that did a virtual or an in-person walk, and they had all of their participants dress in tutus, pink tutus. So it was just a very fun, very, catchy and engaging way to get people involved and really just also highlight the mission and value of their organization. So be creative, be fun. People just, love to laugh and have a good time. Decide if you're going to charge a fee for registration. This is optional, of course, but, some organizations use it if their participation or entry fee would include an item like a t-shirt, for example. It's another great way to get the ball rolling with your funding progress. Then you'll, of course, want to recruit your participants. A great way to do that would be to reach out to those people who are already invested in your mission and vision and values, people who are really key supporters. So those would be your staff, perhaps, your board, your volunteers, past donors who are very active and would be enthusiastic in getting people involved as well. And then finally, for number 7 idea, we always encourage you to compile a walk race toolkit. This is a document, like a PDF or something that could be hosted online, and it will include all of the information that your fundraisers need in order to be successful in raising funds. Because remember, these participants are not naturally fundraisers, or they might not have experience. So we always encourage you to, detail out the expectations that you have of them in terms of what they should do to fundraise, how they can participate, and how they should communicate with their networks. Maybe, that would include example email templates, example social media posts, text, as well as some graphics, and really anything they need to have a communication schedule. So I sort of highlighted some best practices in our 7 steps for planning your event. So I'm just going to briefly run through them again with some additional items here. So top best practices to raise more through walks, runs, and races. We do encourage to charge a small registration fee again to kickstart that campaign. And then in addition to that, you could encourage your participants to committing a particular amount that they need to raise. It could be something small like $100, $250, really, something that will help your progress start, but also something doable and manageable. But it's a great way so that you can actually, have a more, more decisive understanding of how much you're going to raise based on how many participants you have already signed up, and then some based on the donations. You'll want to encourage your participants to sign up their friends and family. So this is the easiest way to get people to start fundraising, is by inviting their closest network. Friends and family is key. Last year, or maybe 2 years ago now, maybe a year and a half, we actually created an activity metric which exists integrated in the CauseVox fundraising site. And you can turn it on and allow individuals to set an activity goal for themselves, and then be able to easily update the progress of it. So on the fundraising site, you'll see in an example momentarily that the fundraiser will have a progress bar for the funds that they've raised, as well as a progress bar for the activities that they've completed. So this is an excellent way to help participants, feel that they've accomplished something, show their achievement, show their donors their own progress. And then we actually have an automated way to show the cumulative total progress on the main landing page. Another best practice would be to get a matching grant or gift from a major donor, partner, or board member. So this is great because showing that you have a matching gift or grant gets people very excited. I mean, could you imagine you're able to double your gift by just donating to this organization? It actually is multiplied magically, right? So people get excited that, their dollar becomes 2 and then on. So really great if you can do that and highlight the ability to double their own gift. I mentioned this briefly earlier, creatively connect your event to your mission. That's something you can incorporate in the way that you tell your story on your fundraising site, as well as how you are, working with your participants the day of the event. Offer physical incentives like t-shirts. So maybe it's included in the registration process. Maybe it's a prize that a fundraiser could win for, their ability to, fundraise X amount. Maybe it's a monetary incentive that you want to offer your participants if your organization is able to. But really any incentive, including those posts of gratitude, will really help your fundraisers feel valued, feel appreciated, and be incentivized to raise more for you all. So yeah, if you're able to offer physical incentives, that's great. If not, that's great too. You can always just show your appreciation through, participant highlights, and of course, thanking your donors too in the process. And then finally, share your impact-driven, compelling stories. This is actually, critical. I don't know. This is, my top practices weren't listed in any order per se, but this is critical so that people know, the type of impact that you're making in your community, why they should give in the first place, why somebody should sign up as a fundraiser and ask people for money. So those impact-driven stories, perhaps their testimonies from individuals who you've helped, or just in general, how you're impacting your community, that's also critical. So now I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then reshare to show us some examples of high-performing campaigns on CauseVox. Let me see if this works for us here. Okay, great. So I'm going to start with active admission and just highlight some aspects that I think make it successful. So the first is the title of their campaign, Active in Mission. So, you know, it's a play on words, you know, you're being active in the mission that you're doing for the organization and the funds being raised and the type of education that is being supported, and also active, physically active, doing something for a challenge. And so this is a walk, run, bikeathon. So again, very versatile. They're encouraging people to sign up and do any type of activity they want, really. So you'll see on the right hand or the left hand side that they are clearly identifying the need in their community and the stats that prove that what they're doing to help children education is important, and the goal that what the funds are going to be put towards, and the monetary goal that they have. So I just really like it's very clean, very aesthetically engaging with the colors. It's very bright and popped. And then on the right-hand side, we have a very clear 1, 2, 3 step on how participants can sign up as fundraisers, as people who are, completing this challenge. So first to register, registration is free. And then they do give an explanation on how participants can consider starting a donation, $2 for every year they went to school, kind of nice. And then fundraise it and get active. And so they detail out the ways that they can get active, that it's an open activity challenge from June over the dates between the 19th and the 26th of June with their nice little hashtag. So very clean, very compact. They also have this get inspired post. So they're really trying to inspire their community to give and participate. We have our 5K Mother's Day Challenge from Brittany's Hope. I like this because they are utilizing the activity metric, which is activity agnostic. So the description is metric agnostic. So you can use whatever description you want. It could be miles run, miles walked, kilometers biked, swam, hours of activity, etc. It's really your choosing. So they utilized and implemented that very well, and their fundraisers also were easily able to update their progress. And then finally, we do have this WAG Love Fest. So this is for Canine Cancer Alliance, and they were up and running this past May. I really liked the way they, detailed out their registration information. So they did charge a registration fee, which is a best practice. And they also had registrants receive a t-shirt and bandana, which goes along with that incentive. Had a very clear way to get involved on the left, some personal stories and links back to their website. They had additional details about contest prizes for their participants, and then showed last year's walk, which is a way to show the type of fun and energy that's really taking place. And they also had some nice sponsors and added those sponsor logos here in a really creative way. So yeah, this is a quick look at some of our walks. I'm going to go back to our slide deck and continue on with the rest of our chat here. Once I get Rob here back, it'll be a chat and our Q&A, of course. So just some additional resources here, which will be included in the follow-up email. And so now I'm just going to briefly discuss how to create a walk, run, or race on CauseVox. We do offer this with our platform. It's really easy to get started. Just 5 steps to complete everything. So you're going to sign up on CauseVox and launch a branded campaign, no IT required, and you're going to have the ability to customize all of your with all of your branding on your campaign site. So you can add your own hex colors, your logo, some videos, custom graphics, to make it look and feel the way you'd like and to connect it seamlessly to your website. Next, you're going to set up your peer-to-peer default information. So this would include an optional, your profile image for your fundraisers, which they can personalize upon sign up, along with that personal page appeal text, funding goal, and then the welcome email that incorporates all of the details that they need to get started raising funds for you and getting involved with the event. Next, we would advise you to turn on that activity metrics so that people can see the progress of your participants' activity and all the hard work they're doing. Again, this is metric agnostic, so you can write any descriptive text in the description section and that'll apply to the whole campaign. And so here again, just highlighting where you'll see that on your personal fundraisers page in their stats section. And it's a really cool way to get people involved and share their progress. Then you'll want to set up your CauseVox donation form. We offer, as Rob had mentioned, a modernized donation experience for your donor. So you can set up any number of customized giving tiers, which can include a description to tie that donation to impact. We also automatically offer mobile wallets, which are those saved payment methods to allow for the fastest transaction for your donor. And all the forms are mobile optimized, so your donors can give at any point in time, on the go, at home, on the day of the event, etc. So really easy to create one of these awesome donation forms. And then finally, for the peer-to-peer registration process, it's a less than 60-second setup for your fundraiser, and you can include your registration fee right in the sign-up process. You can offer that free tier of participation, or you can create any number of paid tiers as well. And then it's a really quick, seamless payment process there, and then they'll be on their way to share out to their friends and family. And so now I will hand it back over to Rob to wrap us up and open it up for questions.
All right, thank you, Jenna, for the presentation. Now, if you're looking for a more detailed walkthrough, you can obviously go to this slide that Jenna has presented. So go to causevox.com/schedule-a-demo, and we'll post a link in the chat, and you can take a look when you do have a chance. Now, for our remaining time, we'd love to just open it up for any questions that people have on how to run your walk, run, or race on CauseVox, and we'll be happy to go through anything in more detail. We have about, looks like 5 minutes for any Q&A. So feel free to use the chat function or the Q&A function, and we'll be happy to get those sorted out for you. Jenna, I'm curious, I do have one question. So one question that we get a lot is on using like team pages and personal pages for peer-to-peer campaigns and runs, walks, races. If you're doing your runs, walks, race for the first time, would you recommend having both personal pages and team pages, or what's the best approach towards setting up the structure of the campaign site?
Great point. Great point. Yeah, I think I guess it would depend on the community. Maybe if you had groups of people who want to raise funds together, team pages are a great way to go. I think team pages also create a great sense of competition, especially for an activity challenge like a walk or run, or even some organizations have partnering orgs who want to raise funds on behalf of an organization as well. So yeah, I think team pages are a great way to go, especially for an activity challenge.
Yeah, I think teams are really great. We see it being used a lot for either board members forming a team, staff members forming a team, or if you have like an advisory board or a junior advisory board, they can form a team. Or if you have different alumni classes, if you're more of a school, for example, then you can have different alumni years fundraising together, and that brings more of a competitive aspect to it. Yeah, that is an additional layer. One of the things that people typically do is they'll start with personal pages since it's the nuts and bolts of a runs walks race. Each individual participant can have a personal page, and then if it makes sense, then adding in that team layer, just so it's not a little too confusing for first time fundraisers. We have a question from Mo. Mo's asking, do you have any examples of the PDF that you mentioned about the fundraising toolkits? And the answer is yes. We have a couple different resources, and Jenna, if you can find them really quickly and kind of paste them in. But we do have two resources on this. One is we have a collection of 10 fundraising toolkits that other successful Runs races and peer-to-peer campaigns have shared with us at CauseVox, and we include that as this giant file folder of examples you can go through. So yes, we have that. And then secondly, we just launched a peer-to-peer fundraising toolkit. It is live, I believe, but we haven't promoted it. But it is basically a template if you could fill out with some best practices as a framework, and then you can plug in like your logo and like your text and things like that. So we have both of those. And Jenna just pasted that into the chat. We will be sending out that resource along with the slides and recording. Jose is asking, does the CauseVox platform allow for 5K runs where people can post and track run times? Jenna, what is the best way to do this on our platform?
Post and run track times. Track run times. Is that for each of the participants? Or
yeah, it definitely looks like it's kind of like when you do a 5K run, then you have like basically like a leaderboard.
Like a leaderboard. Yeah, I think as I recall right now, like you could put like a participant highlight or like leaderboard as a custom graphic, or like highlight them as text on the appeal text section. Yeah, I think because I think a lot of our organizations, use the ability to upload custom graphics frequently. So you could just kind of, as you see their progress come in, you're able to see the progress in your dashboard as well. You can search the progress of your participants, and then you can maybe like create a little quick graphic or text, type it out. I don't know if Rob, you had any other.
Yeah. So it depends on how you're tracking times. If you're tracking times manually, like someone with a stopwatch and just kind of keeping track, then you probably want to just post it manually as well on your campaign site as an update or in the general content area. If you have something that's a little more integrated, like an app, then there are ways. For example, we do have a Strava integration that you can plug in, or if there's like something embeddable that you can bring into the CauseVox campaign site that shows the leaderboard in real time, then that's possible as well. We're a little bit over time. We have two more questions. One is from Mary. She's asking, she wants to set up peer-to-peer fundraising pages for a marathon for board members, a non-official charity. Is there a way to get donors to pledge per mile run, or would it be best to keep it simple with a set donation level? I guess there's two parts to this question. First is that yes, you can run a 5K run marathon on CauseVox, or just in general at least, even if you're not a charity. The one thing that you be aware about is from the tax deductible language in donation receipts, you just want to make sure that it doesn't say that per IRS requirements or CRA requirements that your donation is tax deductible. And that's something that you just need to make clear. The second part of it is that I would recommend keeping your fundraising simple. So pledges are great when you know that there's going to be a little more complexity into how the run walk race is run. But we typically recommend that folks just make a straight donation so that even as a startup nonprofit, you can get some funds through the door without having to worry about pledges and keeping track of it and the administrative aspect of it. And the last question that I see over here is from Sharon. Sharon's interested in team pages, but she also has a question about how pricing works on our platform. Jenna, can you go over that?
Sure. So, yep, great that you're interested in team pages, which is awesome. I can just quickly share my screen with our pricing page, but basically we have very flexible pricing. It's really dependent on the types of customizations that you'd like for your organization. And so let me just pull this up real quick. Get started here. So you'll see if you go to causevox.com/pricing, we have really flexible and affordable pricing. You can get started on our free plan. We don't charge any platform fee for donations processed. And then as you want to, advance in terms of customizations, maybe you want those team pages or event ticketing or access to data exports and phone support and onboarding, that begins on our standard plan. We have annual pricing and also month-to-month pricing. And we do have a way to offer very low platform fees, or with a way to tip and get those completely covered by your donors. So what I would really just maybe encourage you to, stop by our pricing page. You can, start a free trial on one of our paid plans just to go in the back end and kind of poke around and see what it's like to create a page on CauseVox. And then in addition to that, you can schedule a demo with me, one-on-one. We can speak about, the benefits of each of these plans and what would be the best selection for your organization.
Awesome. Jenna, thanks so much for answering that question. And thank you, audience, for hanging out with us today on this webinar of how to run your walk or race on CauseVox. If you do have any questions, feel free to contact us directly. You can reach us at support@causevox.com. We will be sending out the recording as well as the slides in the next day or two. So look out for that, along with a collection of ton of resources and links as well. So look out for that as well. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today, and we look forward to connecting with you very soon. Thank you.